Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon. Welcome to this May the 20th, the Thursday edition of AM on EOAlive. How are you, man?
Morning. It's one day closer to Friday. Hey, BC, you hear about the cheese factory in France that exploded?
No.
Yeah, there was nothing left but debris.
I know. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It was.
Got him.
I knew it was a joke. I knew it was like a corny joke. Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of different jokes for you.
It's kind of funny. I was, I take the photos for the hospital providers, and they recently have added a mental health clinic. I mean, it's big. I won't get into it anyhow, but I'm taking pictures of all of these counselors, psychologists, and there's like 5 or 6 of them in a room. And this is like a joke. It's like, yeah, did you hear the one about the 5 shrinks that were in the room at the same time? I didn't have a punchline, but it was like this hanging joke. Yeah, that could have gone somewhere. I don't know where it was going to go. But.
I'm going to hit you with a joke like once a month, just out of the blue. Like, I'm not going to tell you, though.
You're not. So you're going to shroud it.
Catch you off guard. Yeah.
Yeah, shroud it in some kind of reality, but actually it's just a corny dad joke.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure and try to make it sound like it might be like a news headline, but then so you're hanging on the edge of your seat, and then I'm going to hit you with it. Bow.
Bam.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see
a good idea.
Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Chrissy. Dad joke.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You probably have some dad jokes, don't you, Dana? I'm sure.
He's probably got some grandpa jokes for crying out loud.
That's right. I have grandpa jokes all the time too. So, well, hey, let's look at how pretty it is. Well, or not pretty.
No, it's cold out there. I had to wear a sweatshirt today.
I know. It was so funny because Tanya was talking this morning. It's like we had a fan going in the house because it was so warm just a few days ago. It was like summer was here.
The air conditioners in.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what is it? It's got to be in the 40s out there. I was cold with a sweatshirt on.
Well, let's see what Gabe has here.
Yeah, it's in the 40s. Low 40s right now. It's going to get up. Yeah. It's only going to get up to 54 around 3 o'clock. We're going to get a little bit of rain. What's the high today going to be?
So it looks like around
50s.
Yep.
Lows in the upper 30s, almost dropping down to freezing.
Yeah.
It's May 20th.
Drizzly all day. Heavy showers tonight. So, yeah. And then tomorrow
looks exactly like today.
Yeah, it does.
Miserable. That's not golfing weather.
Are you golfing this weekend?
Well, I need to. Yeah. I need to go at least hit some balls, man. There's a lot of tournaments coming up, and my swing is rusty. I went out with Max McCullough's dad when he was in town for a basketball game. Wait, no. Yeah, that was the second to last time I went, and I didn't even warm up until about the 17th hole.
Are you a very good golfer?
I'm decent. I mean, I'm not like Tiger Woods, but I'm an athlete. You give me a golf. I mean, I figure it out. I used to be a really good golfer back in the days.
It's funny. I've not golfed hardly at all. I'm a good putter. I mean, I'm good at miniature golf.
I'm not a good putter.
Yeah, and so, but the first time I ever went golfing, I was just talking, yakking, and finally about the 4th hole, somebody was getting ready to tee off, and they just stopped and looked over at me. I'm like, what? It's like, it's customary to not talk when someone is teeing off.
That depends on the group you're playing with. Like, if you're playing with like serious golfers, like, yeah. But like when I'm playing with Dana and like Joe, we have a speaker going cranked up. Like like your backswing, you don't make like really loud noise, but as long as the noise is consistent, so like as long as you're talking all the time, it's fine. As long as
it's not like yeah, but it's not like when you were pitching and the catcher behind the batter is like come on, dude, you can't hit this. There's no way. There's none of
Oh
that.
yeah, that's a little. No, you can't do that. You don't do that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're gonna slice it bad, dude. Look,
that would
right
be
here.
like basketball. Have you ever seen the movie Basketball? It's like basketball and baseball combined. It's the guys that created South Park or Beavis and Butthead, one of the two. And basically, when you're like shooting free throws or 3-pointers for base runners, and you sit there and the other team's talking smack to you the whole time.
Yeah,
we need to invent a new sport of golf with that. That would be sweet.
Yeah, Danny says you can fly. What does that mean? Like you can hit?
Well, no. Reread.
Oh,
that.
he can play. Sorry.
Me and flying does not go together.
Yeah,
people my size don't. Gravity doesn't work well with me, so I just stay on the ground.
Good morning, Jimmy. Glad you're here. Yeah. Yes, he did. Just showing up, you annoy people.
No, he's talking about golf.
I know. I changed it though.
Oh, jeez, I'm a glutton for punishment today.
Oh, well, hey. So it's always good to have Matt with us. We should bring him in. Give him. Yeah, that's right. Let's hassle him. What kind of a golfer are you, Matt?
I'm about like Kyle. But good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I like the when you're an athlete, you can't kind of do whatever. I used to be a good golfer, but we're supposed to golf this afternoon, and hopefully that weather forecast didn't look too hot.
Yeah,
I may have to layer up a little bit, but that joke, debris, Kyle. Oh my gosh,
it's bad, huh?
I have to watch every week now just for the next one to see how bad the next
one. That's right. We should come up with a scoring system. Yeah.
And the other thing Kyle I like was it's not like, oh, I'd really like to go golfing. I need to go golfing. I love that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a necessity. I need to go golfing.
Look at this. I still have it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You want a little story on that one too, Kyle? I don't want to put you on the spot on this. But Commissioner Beveridge, after her interview, we had meetings all morning. I didn't get a chance to watch it. She came in. I think we had commission that day or we had something. She's like, well, you're up next, Matt. And she had a little confused look on her face. And she's like, did you and Paul already do your interviews? I said, yeah. And so I went back and I watched hers. And she didn't know the bootlicker. Kyle, and you called her a bootlicker. And so I'm sure.
I kind of figured that you guys talked about it amongst yourselves.
No, we don't just go around calling each other bootlickers all the time. And so I don't think that when you, at the end of the show, when you're like, yeah, you bunch of bootlickers, and I could see your face go, what?
What?
Are you talking about? So I didn't need to put you in spot for Kyle, but.
And she's the one that I know the least out of all you guys, too.
Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. But I mean, one thing that's interesting, I don't know, interesting or complicated, is you guys can't all three be in the same room anytime except on if you all three are in the same place, it has to be a public event, right? And so
if we're making decisions.
Okay.
So yeah, two of us is a quorum, and as long as we're not making decisions, there's Commissioner Anderson and I are on the WARA board, which is the Wallowa Union Railroad Authority. Mm-hmm. And we're allowed to meet as long as we're not talking, as long as we're talking about railroad issues. But we go have lunch. We could go, but we can't sit down and discuss Union County, like, hey, where are you going to vote on this? Which way are you going to vote on that?
Yeah.
It's not like we're completely like, oh, stay away from me.
Who monitors that?
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry.
Who monitors that? Like, how would they even know? How would anybody even know?
We just don't do it.
Yeah, it's just a thing that is. It's a trust thing. Like, we're just not going to do it. I got
you don't, because the repercussions. It's not.
Yeah, because you kind of put yourself in a place of suspicion if you do that, because if somebody sees the three of you talking, and I'm sure you guys are even careful about going out to lunch together or something, the three of you. I mean, it's one thing if it's a whole group or something like that, but it's probably, there's probably a lot of stuff like that you guys have to just do to be beyond suspicion like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say you could always like put one of those ball gags on Paul, and then you could go to lunch with him, and then you'd know he wasn't talking, right?
Did we start? Is this live? Did we start yet?
Yeah.
Oh, tape his mouth. Okay.
Yeah,
tape his mouth.
yeah,
Maybe
but you
not
didn't say tape his mouth. You said
No.
ball gag, dude.
Well, I mean, keeps you from talking.
Yeah, no. Oh, gosh. No, we start over, Brent?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. How's your Thursday going, man?
Oh, boy.
Oh, well, hey, so how are we doing COVID wise? Are we, I mean, I think I know what we're doing, but what's the next step? I don't know. When is this mess going to move to the next place, wherever that is?
Well, yeah, that's good timing for asking me to be on the show because right now we don't know. Once again, as you are aware, the CDC came out with those guidelines, and then the governor said something on Thursday, and then we're all waiting to find out which direction Oregon is, what direction Oregon's going. We haven't heard anything. Usually we hear something on Monday. Tuesday, we get the OHA guidelines, which now we're still waiting on the OSHA guidelines, and they never, ever link up. So I had a meeting yesterday with Regional Solutions with the governor's office, and pretty much said the same thing to that director. When we have radio silence, that's like the worst.
Right.
And when we have businesses, well, what do we do? I translate the CDC this way, and President Biden said it this way, and OHA said this way, and OSHA is doing this way, and OLCC is. And maybe I overstepped my bounds, but I even told the Regional Solutions, I said, we need some leadership here because it's a mess out there. People are taking down their signs. And I said, good luck getting signs back up on businesses if you really want to, close this down again. But it's a mess, and my phone's ringing nonstop on.
Oh, I can imagine.
What can I do? What can I do? And I don't have answers. Well, once again, of course, I don't have answers because no one has answers.
Yeah, I think it was last Saturday. I was in 3 different stores, and I took my mask with me. I wore my mask even wherever I went, just to avoid the hassle and confusion or whatever that might be, and I mean, there were 3 different stores. They all had 3 different. Some of them, the employees weren't wearing the mask at all. Some of them one of the businesses was requesting that all of the customers wear masks when they come in the door. I mean, so it was like, yeah, it was funny. There was a funny exchange because they asked the guy, hey, do you have a mask? He's like, dude, didn't you hear? Fauci lied, man. It's all over. He was just like totally out there. You don't need, why are you wearing a mask? Have you not heard? It was funny. So, and thankfully the guy complied and he was happy. I mean, he was fairly cheerful. Okay. He kind of got through it, but no, it was crazy. It's just nuts.
You're 100% right. People are looking for guidance right now. There's a certain convenience store right over by where I live, and I went in there last night on my way home, and I was told by the person working in there, who I know. I mean, I talk to her all the time, and she was like, "We have to wear masks now in here," and I said, "Okay, that's fine." So I put mask on, and I was like, "What?" The few days before that, nobody in there was wearing masks except for the employees. And I said, well, what changed? And she said, well, our boss told us that OSHA is going around asking people when they walk out that don't have masks on if they have a vaccination and to prove it. And she said that you don't have to wear a mask if you can prove to me that you have a vaccination. And I said, whoa, I was like, that's a little bit much. Like, I'm not going to show, you know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. Like, whoa.
That's where we're at right now. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that the lawyers during this whole pandemic have been, when can we become millionaires? And I think this is the time.
Yeah.
Because I was the rules at OHA and listening to Dr. Seidlinger, and it's all about, what was the scenario? If you approach your vaccine passport bouncer before you enter a business not wearing a mask, then that shows that you've been vaccinated and that you can voluntarily show your vaccine passport. And if you're wearing a mask, then that shows that you haven't been vaccinated. It's asking for somebody's medical information. I'm not going there.
No, I think it's
no way.
Yeah, no.
And then the fact that this is now, if you go around wearing this, now you'll be vaccine shamed in public. I go, there's people out there that have had the vaccination and still want to wear this.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Which is A-okay with me. I'm with you, Kyle and Brent. I bring one all the time. And if someone wants me to wear one, I'm more than happy to put one on.
Well, and that makes sense, wearing it even if you're vaccinated, to me, just for the simple fact that there's no studies that show whether or not if you're vaccinated, if you can carry it or not.
Well, and
I hear you can still spread it even if you're vaccinated.
No, I mean, there was
when you get it.
No, I mean, there was there in Oregon, there's like cases in the hundreds of people who have gotten COVID even after they were vaccinated. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, so it's it's not a sure thing, but no, it's just crazy. And that was the other, I mean, when they came down with the decision to, fully vaccinated people cannot have a mask, is like, okay, so you're putting the businesses in the position of being police. It's just like, are you kidding me?
I told her yesterday, I was like, that's not I would not want to be you right now, asking people to show a vaccination card. No way. Yeah. She said she'd been told to F off. She's like a whole list of stuff just in one day at a little convenience store right here in LeGrand.
Yeah. Well, and then to hide. Well, first you got to put a policy in place that you're going to check people's vaccination cards. And then I got to hire somebody to be at the door and try to hire somebody right now.
Yeah,
we're all short staffed as it is. And then let's just say, for scenario's sake, that Brent, you're vaccinated, I'm not. We go to lunch, and you don't have to wear a mask. You have to social distance, but I have to wear a mask and I have to social distance. And you're allowed to sit in the non-social distance part of the restaurant, and I have to sit in the. Discrimination and segregate. I think it's going down a really, really bad path right now, especially the way our country is getting divided. You don't want to add this to that.
Yeah, it's just going to separate right and left even more because it's been made a political thing. I mean, it has. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, I think it's one thing that is a little that I've observed from people is that so we've been living in this society for the last however long, masking up and social distancing and all of that business. But now there's a feeling of people that have been vaccinated, they don't even want to be in the same room as people who are not vaccinated, even though masks and social distancing are still an option. So it's like this new set of criteria. It's like, yeah, the mask kept us safe all this time, but if I'm vaccinated and you're not, the mask won't keep us safe. It's just the whole thing is just a mess. So, but hey, we could hammer this to death. So,
yeah.
So anyhow,
it's so frustrating.
But we are at the lowest category that we can go right now with the current system, correct?
We are, and knock on wood.
Yeah, and so then for things to get better, the governor really has to come out with a new set of standards, or for public gatherings, or is that? I mean, I know we don't have any of that, but do you have any whiff of? I mean, has she indicated at all what maybe is the next? Is there a new set of standards coming out, or do you have any idea what you would expect there?
Yeah, we're just waiting on them. It's supposed to be outdoor activity guidelines. It's supposed to all be coming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I saw somewhere where, there's pretty good confidence that Pendleton Roundup is going to happen, which I think is kind of a pretty big, I think that came out of her office or so, I don't know. I can't remember where it was, but yeah. So I think there's some indication that she's intending on opening things up, but who knows when and what that's going to look like.
Well, that was the thing is her emergency declaration goes until I believe June 28th.
Okay.
And so even there, I know OSHA's guidelines were dependent on the emergency declaration. That's why employees, I keep asking, can my employees take the masks off? And as well, it's under OSHA and the emergency declaration. But then I got a tidbit yesterday from health inspector in another county saying, nope, if you show proof of vaccination, then you don't have to wear. But once again, the contradiction of rules and guidelines, it needs to all I'm sorry.
So I don't pay much attention to politics, Scarfo, but I listen sometimes when people are talking, and I heard that Governor Brown and OSHA are button heads, because the OSHA thinks that she released this information too fast to the public about not having to wear a mask if you're vaccinated and changing the guidelines. Have you heard anything like that, or is that just
it wouldn't surprise me?
Well, and it's funny because OSHA, the whole, what you heard, Kyle, of that, this little store that OSHA people are going around. And I'm very skeptical of that gossip, because OSHA was having troubles keeping up with getting businesses to comply when everyone was supposed to wear masks. How in the world are they possibly going to filter people coming out and ask them? Yeah, so they're
going to be like OLCC stings. They're going to send somebody in without a mask on and have them come out. And if they come out without getting checked, they're going to go in and write a fine. Is that how it's going to be?
And I'm sure they could do that in a metropolitan area, but I'll guarantee you they're not going to send a crew of people over to a little neighborhood store in LeGrand, to do a sting.
OLCC does it.
Yeah,
Scarfo knows that. They do it in they do it everywhere.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's so crazy. Just let people be and be responsible human beings, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Yeah. I think the good thing is generally I hear people, people are more conscious about, hey, I'm sick, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to, I have a cough, I'm going to wear a mask, even if I come to work, or whatever the case might be. So there is, the good thing out of this is that, and I heard Fauci say this, is that, the flu season was practically non-existent because everybody, had covered themselves. So the good thing is we're doing better. I personally wash my hands way more often than I ever did before,
Yeah.
So that's good.
What about the whole we've talked in the past, BC, about the having a brain fart. Pick me up real fast and let me think for a second.
All right. Yeah. So Matt, how are you? What else is going on in the county? Anything exciting
like I said last time, I still can't believe it's been 3 months since I've been on.
Yeah, it has.
That's been that went by pretty quick. Legislative session is still going on, and this is the coincidence. It goes on until June 28th, the same day that the emergency declaration is lifted. How convenient is that? So
it's crazy.
I could go into some conspiracy theories on that one, but yeah, it's funny how all the dates kind of lined up with her emergency declarations, or 90 days, which is quarterly, which lined up perfectly with the second wave, third wave, and fourth wave.
Yeah.
So,
I got my question.
A Mark Senator once told me that there are no coincidences when it comes to the Capitol.
Yeah, you kind of, yeah. What were we gonna say, Kyle?
Oh, I'm still trying to dig out this question and word it the right way and not seem like,
Okay.
It's just.
Oh, I can't wait for this one.
I know.
It's a good one. It is. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the best answer.
I'm sure it's a softball question. Here we go.
Yeah. So I saw where bench warmers is up for sale. I see that publicly yesterday. So I don't know. Talk a little bit. Let's shift a little for a minute. And so what are you? I know that. I don't know. Why don't you talk about that? Tell us what you want to talk. It's up for sale. Hey, are you selling both businesses? I haven't heard.
Well, you're a business guy. Everything's for sale. It was for sale the first day I bought it. Yeah. Everything's for sale. I've been trying to sell bench warmers for the last 2 or 3 years now. COVID hit, and it just was taking up too much of my time. And I have 3 or 4 careers now.
Yeah.
And medically, it's not good for me. I have a tough time taking days off. I work 7 days a week, and I think it's time I maybe start relieving some stress in my life. And very sad. Bench warmers is awesome. That's the reason why I bought it. That's what I used when I started working there. It's a fantastic place. I really want it to go to someone that values it as much as me and our community. My biggest fear is having someone come in here and change it. I really don't want it. I don't want that at all. So I'm not going to be picky in a way, but that will be one of the factors of who I sell it to for sure. And
I was gonna ask you that. I was like, are you gonna sell it to some Californian that doesn't even know what they're doing, or are you gonna be picky? Which I'm glad you said that.
Please don't put that in my position. But
yeah, you know what's funny is you own Long Branch too, which is right beside it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been a big beer drinker. I'll drink every once in a while and stuff, but I love Long Branch. I mean, I tell you, it's funny. I mean, you go in that, and they're like day and night. You go into Long Branch and you go into bench warmers, and it's like you don't think they're owned by the same person. I mean, just because they have such different character and different texture.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I love that the grill is right behind the counter. I mean, I'm sure there's a style of diners that are like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Everyone asked me, "Oh, you own 2 restaurants. Where are they?" I said, "Right next to each other."
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, are they not competing? Like, you should come and find out.
Right.
Yeah. Different.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kel.
Completely different.
Yeah. And the bench warmer, like a burger at Bench Warmers, is not the same burger at Long Branch. And that's what makes it kind of fun. It was fun for me, and the old owner, Patty and Mark Hankel, had it. It was kind of like this. Oh, I got to keep this the Greasy Spoon Diner, and we got to keep this one as the pub and deep fried food and the sports bar, and it keeps you on your toes. And I love the breakfast all day at Long Branch. You can.
Yeah.
And when I do the breakfast for dinner, I'll go in there and be like, oh yeah, I need just some scrambled eggs and ham and a couple pieces of bacon.
Now, have they had the same cook there at Long Branch for a long time?
Oh, I have some fantastic cooks, and yes, my clientele they are awesome. Great guys. Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. You have to know what you're doing to make an omelet, and for that omelet to be consistent over the years or whatever it might be. And I mean, and that's kind of what I mean. If I go in there and I want to gorge myself and I get a chicken fried steak with the eggs and the whole 9 yards, is like the plate looks like it did 10 years ago. I mean, it's just the same.
Well, it doesn't look the same right now because of COVID.
Right.
We're having a tough time getting the same product in. Is that bubble when all the factories shut down. And there's an issue with chicken wings. We're not getting the same bacon. And actually, our chicken fried steak right now, we usually get, I think they're the 14 ounces, 12 ounces. And now we have 3 small 3 ounces.
Okay.
So it's not the normal Long Branch, but we're getting through. We're getting through. I was going to say about the cooks at Bench Warmers and some other restaurants, you don't see the cook. You don't ever see the cook. It's always behind behind the door over there. What's going on behind the door? But Long Branch, it takes a special somebody to make your food. I mean, you're sitting right there. You can't pick your nose. You got to make sure you're washing your hands. And back when, hopefully our bar stools come back, you could sit there right behind the cook. And we have, some of our cooks are like, oh yeah, no, the guy will be like, no, flip it. It's done. There we go. Okay, put it on the plate. That's good. I'll eat that. So you get the guy behind you, like the backseat driver. No, left turn here.
Oh, that's funny.
You're driving too fast.
there's a restaurant in Seattle. My family moved here from Wallingford, which is the U District right by the U District in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And on Highway 99, there's a restaurant called Beth's, and I don't know if it's still there or not, but Beth's was that same kind of a diner, only it was huge. I mean, the college kids went there and it was unique and stuff, but that was the first time and they had a 12-egg omelet that they made. Mm. And it was the first time I'd ever experienced that, where you could like sit there and watch the guy prepare your food and he'd hand it to you, and so I was delighted when I got here, and it's like, oh, that is just the bomb. That is just cool. It's a great place to have breakfast. So.
We used to have a place here. It was when the Trop was only one building, and before they separated the two buildings. Remember that, Kyle? And they had the boxcar omelet, and it was a 12.
Yeah, what was it called?
I've been racking my brain. I forget. Maybe one of the viewers would know.
Oh, yeah, somebody. Jimmy might know, or
yeah,
who else has been here forever?
Yeah, I forgot. Gosh, it was fantastic, and it's where Tap That is now on the.
Yeah. Yeah, on that side, I miss Eric at Benchwarmers, man. Eric's my dude.
I know. I texted him the other day.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he says he's doing better, and
that's good, man. I've been praying for that guy.
Yeah, please do.
Yep, he's my dude. He's one of those dudes that is kind of like the culture of Benchwarmers. I mean, even though he's a cook, everybody knows him. Like, I mean, you go in there and if he's not busy, he comes out and greets people. He's personable. I love that. Like, yeah. Oh, I remember my question now, and I have it kind of nailed. So we're going to go back to COVID just for a second. And okay. BC and I have talked about this quite a bit, and we both have the same take on it. And I want to know what your take is, Matt. So we both feel like banks especially are taking advantage of people by staying closed. And for the simple reason it costs less money to have just the drive-through open than to have the whole lobby open. And then also businesses that sell beverages in these cans, not taking cans back because of COVID, and they're continuing to do it now even. We feel like that's just kind of like taking advantage of people. Like it's COVID set them up for this way to take advantage of people, and they're holding on to it. Like what do you feel about that?
Well, on the bank issue, okay, no, I'm going to try to word this properly. Walking into a bank with a hoodie, sunglasses, and a mask on your face isn't proper. Right. You don't do that.
Right.
But now with COVID, that's in. Wearing a bank robber's outfit is what you're supposed to do. So you're not supposed to walk into a bank with a mask on your face.
Right.
And so with that, I knew that was one of the legislative issues was opening up banks again with people that are dressed like bank robbers.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something I
never thought of it like that. Yeah. I mean, just because we live in LaGrange. How many banks have been robbed here? One? I think one in the last 30 years. Huh?
I think you'd be surprised. I remember 3 or 4 since I've been here.
Oh,
well,
really?
I think I guess what the problem that I have with that is what I see though is banks not only are not open, but they've reduced staffing, and so then everybody has to go through the drive up, and they don't have the staff to cover the drive up properly, and so then I mean you go to like a business like McDonald's, or I don't know, any drive up restaurant, any restaurant that has a drive up window. And I mean, and they have gotten through this because they've beefed up their whole organ. I mean, I think they probably have just as many people inside as what they ever did because they're trying to handle the volume that's coming through the drive up. Well, banks don't have that incentive. They've done the opposite. I think they've taken advantage of the situation. They've reduced staff because they could. I mean, and there's lots of business. I mean, I called a computer support network yesterday, and the first thing they say is during these challenging times, your wait might be longer. It's like, dude, your folks were working from home 3 years ago. Yeah. I mean, you're just using the excuse of COVID to give poor customer service. I just that aggravates me a lot. So,
the workforce, we really need to. I've talked to Congressman Bentz on this, and Senator Merkel. It's an issue. Congressman Bentz said, "Well, what do you think about the border crisis?" And I said, "Well, can they cook?" Because I can't get Americans to work right now. I'll take Venezuelans. If they want to work, I have a job for them, and every county does. So I mead that is a serious issue, and it's not going to stop until September. And I really believe that unemployment, what is it called, the extra unemployment benefit needs to go away. It's time to go back to work.
So
I agree.
I have a question that is kind of related to that, and that is I certainly feel sorry for those people, and they've pushed out the evictions so that people are not evicted in the middle of this crisis. But nobody ever talks about the people who own the property, ever. I mean, that is never the story. And I have family members that have property that rent it out, and you can't. Is there help for the landlords too, or are they really expecting that, hey, you can't evict those people, and sorry, you're just not going to collect rent? I mean, how do they expect the landlords to make their mortgage payment? And I've not understood that.
That's been an ongoing deal. One of the deals they wanted to make with the landlords was the state will bail them out, but at, I believe it was 80% of what they were owed during that time, which still is, why do they have to lose 20% of their income because of this?
Right. And they can't evict the person.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess. That's why I think that's the reason why they keep pushing it back so far, because they call it the eviction crisis. You prepared for the eviction crisis, because when that gets waived, people are going to be kicked out of a lot of places.
Yeah. My best friend owns a house in Island City, and he's been dealing with this for the last year. The renters are out now, but the way they ended up getting them out is they live in North Dakota, and they hired a property management company to kind of monitor the situation. And the way they ended up getting the renters out was they just found something they found that she had people sleeping in the garage, and they presented it as a safety hazard, and they ended up getting her out. But it was still a year worth of rent that he doesn't get. I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's $1,200, $1,300 a month.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has a mortgage too. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people out there that are struggling that this really benefited. But when you hear about these other people that were receiving an extra $600 a week that had plenty of money and just didn't pay their rent because the governor said they didn't, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I just think that it's only part of the story. I mean, you suddenly demonize anyone who is a landlord who owns property and collects rent, and it's like they're us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just trying to keep the cycle going because they're paying their mortgage on their rental property with the rent that comes in, and I mean, and eventually that whole cycle breaks down, and they lose their property, and the renter gets kicked out because the property belongs to the bank. I mean, it's just this. I mean, it's awful.
Vicious. It's vicious, is what it is.
Well, and they're only, if you're only, I mean, I totally am compassionate and sensitive to someone who's in the middle of a housing crisis, but you have to deal with the landlord's needs just as much as you do with somebody else. So, yeah. Well,
it's crazy.
Well,
take the money out of her bank. Good luck with that. Oh man, I hope like a year from now when we have you on, Scarfo, we don't even have to say a word about this, about coronavirus. That's my goal.
Well, the thing is, it'll be something new. There will always be something.
Yeah. Hopefully next year though, at this time we can talk about EOU baseball and something fun. Because
we always talk about EOU baseball.
Well, there wasn't really much. There was only one thing to talk about this year, and that's we beat LCSC one time.
Oh my gosh, I heard that in my job.
I was there.
No way. On the first year back.
I was there, and our LeGrand kid pitched for LCSC that night. So it was definitely, yeah. There was more people in the stands on their side than our side, which is not good.
Yeah, GT, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You know what's funny is you guys both called yourselves athletes and said, yeah, we can adapt to golf. The funny thing is that at our age, you can't tell who was an athlete and who wasn't, I suppose, until they swing a bat. Or when when you're young, you can just look at somebody and go like, that dude looks like an athlete. And at this point, I'm sorry, you two do not look any more athletic than me.
Oh, whatever, BC.
Yeah. I will gladly admit that I was, I participated, but I wouldn't have called myself an athlete. So
I think when somebody's my size, it's automatically assumed that they were a football player. Everybody always asks me, "Do you play football?" Like, no, I hated football. I played it my senior year because I was like coerced into it. But besides for that, I love watching it. I love coaching it. I love the game. I don't like playing it. I don't like blocking people. I love tackling people, but not blocking. So I just didn't play. And it constantly. Are you a football? Did you play football? Like, nah, not me.
Yeah, I get. Oh, were you a horse jockey?
You kind of do look like a horse jockey, actually.
I was joking, Kyle. I was making fun of me being short.
That's what I was implying as well. I mean, horse jockeys are like little teeny dudes, though. Like,
you don't need to agree with my joke, okay? No.
You had a picture that you posted on Facebook, Kyle, of the two kids that were laying on their backs. Remember that drill in football? You lay on your backs. One kid has a ball.
Yeah.
The team stands and makes a tunnel so that people can't get out of the tunnel. And then you have two kids that lay on their back, and one has a ball and the other one's the runner and one's the tackler. The coach blows the whistle, and the runner has the objective of trying to get past the blocker or the tackler, and the tackler has, and I think you said, I forget what that meme was, but it was like,
this drill made a lot of basketball players.
That's right.
What it said. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause it was brutal. That was a brutal drill.
You can't do it anymore it's against the rules to do in practice at every level. That and
really?
King of the Ring. Oklahoma, you can't do it anymore. You can't do King of the Ring anymore at Pop Warner level, at the middle school level, and at the high school level. I don't know about college, but I know those three levels for sure. They have really strict rules when it comes to contact. You have to time how long you're actually having contact in practice now.
Wow.
Because of concussions and injuries and yeah.
Well, I got my first stinger that way, man. I think I was in 6th or 7th grade and came helmet to helmet with a guy, and
it's not fun.
No,
I always told my guys, you'll know if you want to be a football player or not the first time you get the snot knocked out of your nose by not blowing your nose. And then you decide whether or not you really want to play football. And that generally happens right around 8th grade, because that's when kids are starting to, like hit puberty and getting some muscle mass on them, and they're a little faster, and you see, you see some hits about that level. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you, Matt. Anything else you want to bring us up to date on before we take off?
No, we're going to see a lot here in the next. You know what? I can't say a lot. Hopefully, we see something in the next couple of weeks, days, figure out what's going on. The COVID issue. Yeah, she said, hey, wait 6 weeks until the emergency declaration's over. 6 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
Very long time, especially when everybody's going around not knowing what the rules are. But I would like to say, hey, if you're sick, stay home. Like we talked about that earlier. COVID is still here. We still have it.
Yeah.
Vaccinations are still available all over the place. If you are having a tough time finding a time or a place to get a vaccine, call me, and we're trying to get a mobile CHD is trying to get a mobile vaccination. They'll come to you even. So I don't want anyone going through this without having the opportunity to be vaccinated.
Right.
And in my opinion, as soon as everyone has had their opportunity to be vaccinated, then it's all on your own personal responsibility. And I believe that we could go back to normal.
Yeah.
Agreed. Hey, I hope you know by now that when I laugh while you're talking, I'm not laughing at you. I'm looking at the comments and I'm laughing at Dana with his shameless plugs. It's every day. Look, dude, Dana, I give you a lot of plugs as it is. I mean, you can plug yourself too, but yeah. Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak.
Hey, I'm surprised he's not live on Facebook right now. We're probably taken away from his live time.
He's
doing a fantastic job out there. And maybe I need to go out and have a meeting with him.
Yeah, he is killing it.
Yeah. Maybe we should all four go out and have a meeting out there. I haven't played the course yet this year, so
it's kind of funny.
No, I haven't golfed in. Yeah,
I was playing Baker with one of your employees, and he had to he actually had to call you that day. And he was like, man, I got to go back to work. I'm like, we're only on the 5th hole.
It must be nice to go golfing. Good for him.
Yeah, it was fun. It
was
fun.
Well, no, that's about all I have, unless you guys had any more questions. I still was hoping someone would tell me the name of that breakfast place. That was
Jimmy.
So, while that's coming, one more question, Matt, that I thought of.
Sure.
So have you got any more guidance on the dispersion of the funds that is supposed to be coming the next round that is going to be available locally for business?
Yes, American Rescue Plan funds. Yes, we did. We're still kind of going through those, and we still have a list of projects on the dry erase board. I think the next step is to kind of go through and find out which ones qualify, especially with the amount of money we have, the $5.2 million. Wow. And the nice thing is we do have 2 years to spend that money instead of like the CARES funding when we had 5 months. But still 2 years is not to find construction, and if it is construction workers or find people to get these projects done is going to be very difficult, even in the 2-year time frame.
It wasn't fully stationed.
I'm sorry?
It wasn't Foley Station.
No.
Foley Station was down further.
Yeah, this was before Foley.
Yeah, way before.
Yeah,
this is like
1995,
mid 90s. Yeah, like when you first came here.
Mm-hmm.
Right around then. Yeah,
they had they didn't have to-go boxes. They just had like aluminum foil.
Yeah. What was that place called? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy.
It's been you and me both. You need to text me if you figure it out.
It was where like Tap Dad is right now. No, next to the Trop. It was like it wasn't the Trop.
Well, the Trop used to be just one building, and then they knocked a hole into the other side of it
and made the little.
It was that side.
Yep.
This is gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna drive me crazy too. Anytime, usually if it's a name, I can like go through the alphabet. I can start at A and go through the alphabet and end up getting it, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that with this one. Highway 30.
No, that was 30, down a block.
That was down a block, and that was way after.
Yeah.
We could just sit here for the next 2 hours and. Well, let's just sit here until someone tells us.
Somebody says Jerry McCrae owned it. Jerry McCrae. I don't know. Maybe my mom would know. I'll call her after we get off. My mom might remember. I'm trying to think of people who know like downtown LeGrand really well, and I'll figure it out. Scarfo, I'll text you it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right.
If I figure it out, I'll text you.
All right. Good.
Thank you, Matt, for coming on. We'll have you again 3 months from now. For those
always good.
Okay. Hey, like I do every show. 541-963-1001. That's my county office number. mscarfo@union-county.org. Don't want to be called a bootlicker or hiding. So I want to make sure. Oh boy!
Right there. I'm gonna keep this forever.
Yeah, I haven't been on social media. I don't even know what people are saying or what. But the county's doing well COVID wise. Let's keep it that way. Let's stay low. Even if this does last another 6 weeks, let's just stay where we're at. Continue where we're going. Don't mask shame. Don't vaccine shame. Just be nice to one another.
Absolutely.
The mask police and the vaccine police. That we don't need that. No one needs that.
Yeah, and I think. Again, I've said this a million times. Just be courteous to one another.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell when you approach someone and they're fearful about COVID, they just put your mask on and continue the conversation. I mean, this isn't difficult.
Takes a half a second. You go,
yeah.
And if you don't, stay away from them. Like,
and on the same hand, if don't be if you've been vaccinated, it's none of your business whether that person has been vaccinated. I mean, it's just I'm trying to figure out how I would handle that question because I've gotten it a couple times already. And I
know how I would have handled it right there.
Yeah. What I want to say is like, my personal medical information really isn't any of your business. Yeah. Right. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Do you want to know if I had my gallbladder out? I mean, so.
Well, I can think of a lot more intriguing questions than that. But.
Yeah. All right.
But hey, the good news is it looks like this is winding down.
Yeah. Thank the Lord.
It looks like we're getting through it. I think we're going to be. The light at the end of the tunnel is getting very big.
Yeah, good.
Thank God.
All right. Hey, thank you, Matt.
You bet.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, and we'll see you in 3 months.
All right. If not before.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, dude. Bang it out real quick. On this day in 1498, Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama was the first European to reach India by sea ever. In 1830, the fountain pen was patented by H.D. Hyde on this day. On this day in 1916, Norman Rockwell's first cover was on the Saturday Evening Post. 1916.
Wow.
In 1927, on this day, Charles Lindbergh took off from New York to cross the Atlantic for Paris aboard the Spirit of St. Louis. The trip took 33 and a half hours. In 1932, on this day, 5 years later, Amelia Earhart took off to fly solo across the Atlantic. She became the first woman to achieve that feat. On this day in 1990, the Hubble sent its first photographs back to Earth. And then finally, the number one song in 1991 on this day was "I Don't Want to Cry" by Mariah Carey. And my positive quote for today is by Lolly Daskell, and it's, "When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you." And I'll say that one more time. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. That's all we got for a Thursday, BC.
All right. Hey, thank you all for watching.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Be sure and check out our daily news roundup, which is dropping at 5 p.m. every day. Yeah,
if you haven't seen that yet, Megan is so good. Like, she's so good.
Yeah, it's only about 2 minutes long. It's easy to It's easy to listen to. Also, you can program your Alexa to say, "Hey, Alexa, play my daily news brief," and it will play the audio version of that. It's where we're going. We're trying to create daily stuff, and so be sure.
All
of
our stuff's on podcast too. I mean, you can go to Spotify and type in EOAlive, and everything's right there. We have an app. Go to the Play Store or iTunes, download it. It's free. There's just a lot of things going on here. So,
and on the app and on the website, there's an audio version, a live audio version of anything that's live, including this broadcast. So, all right.
Hey, one more thing before we go.
Yeah.
And I want to extend this to the viewers of this as well. One of the things I do on my sports show is I say, hey, if you have an idea for a guest, email me. Well, the same thing here. If you guys want somebody, you want to see somebody on here, email us. You can Kyle@EOAlive.tv. It's and we'll give it consideration. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We want to please you guys. That's why we're here. And so if you have an idea for somebody, and it can be anonymous, or you can leave your name. I don't care. I mean, I won't say, "Hey, so-and-so recommended this person." So, yeah.
All righty. Hey, thank you all.
Have a good weekend.
Yep. See you soon.